Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be doing the next stage in growing pumpkins, and it's the one which I think is kind of the most exciting. We are going to be planting the pumpkins into the ground in the pumpkin patch. So today's video is going to focus on planting out my giants. Now, I want to preface this video by saying I have had awful trouble with compost this year. I've been trying to go peat free, mainly for environmental reasons, and I'm really finding it a struggle, and I think I'm going to do a separate video on that another day. But really at this stage, like with a giant pumpkin plant, I would be expecting it to be, you know, at least this length. So this is a lot smaller than I'd like, but we've got to the stage now where the roots are starting to come out the bottom, so it really needs to get into the ground. I'm having the same issues with my smaller pumpkins. So these are a Crown Prince squash, and as you can see, like, they're not looking the healthiest. They're very yellow. It just goes to show that they've run out of nutrients a lot quicker in this compost than I would normally expect, which is why they've gone a little bit yellow. But you can see, like, they're pot bound because the roots are starting to show out the bottom. But there should have been enough compost in these to support them for as long as they're in, enough nutrients in the compost to support these, and there hasn't been. So really the best thing I can do for all my pumpkins is to get them straight into the ground.
First thing we need to do is prep the area for planting. We've put the lawnmower on the lowest setting and cut the grass down as close to the ground as we can.
So I practice a no-dig approach, which means that I don't dig the ground. Again, it's a lot to get into just here, but it's to promote the health of the soil and to leave the microbes in the soil do their thing. You don't want to disturb them because healthy microbes equal healthy plants. So we don't dig. Now, it would be so much easier to just get a rotavator, turn over this whole patch, rake it. It'd be bare earth and we can put this pumpkin straight in. But because I don't dig, we're just taking the approach of cutting the grass down as short as we can to the ground and then planting the pumpkins in. And we'll just have to try, even just like with hand clippers, clip the grass around them until they get established, and then what will happen is they'll take over and block out the grass eventually.
For my giant pumpkins, I like to grow them in what's called a pumpkin hill. Now, I know when people direct sow their pumpkins and put their seeds straight into the ground, they dig these hills because the soil that's up out of the ground warms up quicker. It improves germination rates for the seed. But I like to do it with the plant because I feel like the ground warms up quicker for the plant. It's not going into hard soil on the ground, it's going into loose soil, which means it's easier for it to spread its roots out. I also think there's less chance of the stem rotting where it goes to the ground, especially here in my pumpkin patch because it is quite a swampy area. Now, I did try to replicate a method I seen there in the first pumpkin where they dug a moat first and then hilled up all the soil around it, but it wasn't working for me. All the soil was falling back down. Now, I think the moat is a good idea for around it because it makes watering easier. It holds the water to let it go into the roots rather than draining off around it. But it just wasn't working for me. So maybe if you did the hill first, then dug the moat around it, it would be easier. Once I have the hill made, I mulch it with grass. This is just to keep the moisture in.
So there you have it. The pumpkin patch is planted up. Well, all the giants are. They're going on this side. I'll put all my smaller pumpkins and squash up that end later on today. But I hope that you found this video useful. As always, any questions or comments, put them down below. And thank you very much for watching.